So is buy the dip rally over with? And are we set to make another leg down here? Let's take a look. It is Wednesday, March 26, 2025. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. I appreciate it. If you can do that and subscribe to the channel. Also, come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts analysis and live day trading. Again, I got a huge site-wide sale here. Take advantage of it. It's pretty much being given away for free. At this point, 60% off first month of active trader. Already a 2-week free trial built into swing trades too, and that's 20% off as well. Anyway, let's get into it here. So markets today with a pretty good decline. Spiders down 1.3, Qs down 2%. We had, a good move in volatility. I forgot to mention this yesterday too. I think somebody mentioned it in the comments, but VVIX was up nicely yesterday, and that did give us a little bit of a signal here that we might be seeing some sort of decline. Granted, I mean, look how much it was down here. So this bounce is probably overdue. Just like the VIX here getting a bounce. I was a little disappointed. I was kind of hoping we would get up to 5,800 at least, and I still think there's some unfinished business up here, and kind of that's the premise of what I'm about to say. I don't think this bounce is necessarily done yet. That said, we have had a pretty good decline here. I was really hoping we could get closer to that 58.25 area before a dip here, but there are some levels here that I think are very interesting here. And you can see we're sitting right on the SPX trend line. The one I'm going off of more so is the ES here. And we're sitting right there currently. This is a big bull bear line. And I think if we can flush this a little bit, then push back up. I'm not going to give out the exact levels I've got, but they're a little bit lower here. And we could see that tomorrow. I will say I think we're weak tomorrow morning. And then I think we'll kind of finish higher on the day. But if the bulls can stabilize here and put in a higher low here, I don't think this is necessarily done. That said, it's been a pretty good bear statement here today. But part of the reason I don't think that is we just have some unfinished business. Again, measured move here is not quite filled out quite yet, and we're right up there with that fib too. So we talked about this yesterday, where it just seems like it's a little too easy to short here. Specifically what I was saying was like 5,800 and just above. So got that part kind of right, because it was too easy to short there. And as a result, we kind of had a, what do you call it? Like a rug, not a rug pull, but like shorts got left at the altar, right? So they kind of took it down quickly. And usually, price will go where you think it's going to go, but it's going to take the most convoluted route to get there. And we did have a nice dump today, although we are seeing some relief at the end of the day. Again, 5,700 should hold here. There's actually, believe it or not, if I'm not sure if it's still there, but LG1 here on SPY might still, it's still 570. So we'll see if they give us a little pop here into the end of the day. Now, Trump is going to be on in 20 minutes or so to talk tariff. We're going to do some more tariff talk. And again, I guess he talked about autos this morning. That was part of the reason. Somebody always knows, though, because that didn't happen until down here. So we'll see if the market kind of priced that in a little bit. Maybe we get some relief off of that, but I think we'll come down and test some of these lower prices tomorrow. But that said, pretty good sell here. Volatility getting a bounce. It was kind of due. I was just really hoping we'd get a little bit lower before that happened. But, again, like I said, market doesn't always go where you think it's going to go. We did call out some good levels here. I did get stopped out on some SPXL in the middle of the day here, right around this area. And I called out a vol sell, which ended up playing out. You can see I said that 1790 should hold, and it's going to need to consolidate if it wants to go higher. It did exactly that, and then it went up, and we had a dip buy. It was in the money for a few minutes, right around 57.25 area, and it got a nice bounce. It just didn't quite get us to like target one. I was looking for maybe like I think I was in just below like 150 on SPX. I was looking for like a push up to 151, which would have brought us back, towards that 57.50 handle, but we just didn't quite get there. And I call this like the ODTE pounding algo, where it's just no bounces allowed, right? We had levels. I mean, we had the vol sell. It kind of worked here, but no follow through. We had another proprietary level right here, no follow through, and we just kind of pushed down all day long. But like I said, you can see buyers, market makers holding that 5,700 area right now. And yeah, we're right on the trend line here on ES, and it is holding. So we'll see if that does give us a little bit of a lift, but I'm thinking we're going to try and fill this gap tomorrow. But we'll see if that see if it comes into play. There's some other levels we've got marked and circled, and if buyers show up there and they can put in a green day tomorrow, we have a decent chance of finishing the week okay. But again, this is that big line. Below that gives sellers the benefit of the doubt. So sometimes they come up shy of these levels, but the math still, to me, has got to play out here. But that said, well, actually, before we get into the negatives here, one last positive. Dollar yen was strong all day. So I hear rumblings about the carry trade, but I don't see it in the chart here. In fact, we actually held that 4-hour inverse head and shoulders, and we're basing here now. I mean, look at that. You even have another kind of inverse head and shoulder type look right here, or you could call it like a cup and handle if you want. So dollar yen still acting well. So I don't really see any like leverage short vol type problems. That said, semiconductors look like crap. The SMH down 3.5, very weak, not good. And I still don't like stocks like Nvidia here. It's just not a good chart. Back testing that trend line, especially on the weekly. Now, if it can reclaim on the weekly, it can live to fight another day. But that's not a good look. This has got some monthly rollover momentum too. So be careful with these semiconductors. If you want to own tech, I would own IGV way before I own SMH. You guys know that. That's my kind of thought anyway. But yeah, so back testing that area and obviously getting a good slice there. It's now right into the 200 and essentially the 20-day as well. And again, this is a Mag 7 led sell-off again. Look at advanced decline. In fact, breadth is still positive on the day. In fact, I think earlier we had like 350 advancers, and if we look at the heat map, it's really, oops, there we go. Yeah, it's really all Mag 7. Energy's still very strong, and Fin's holding up too, although XLFE now red now. But they had a nice short level on JPM at 255. It didn't get there, but the 50% fib is holding. But nonetheless, it's a very Mag 7 tech-led sell. You can see XLE here continues to be a rock star. And, I talked about this at the beginning of the year. If money does come out of tech, it's going to go here into energy. And I'm loving my Exxon right now. That's been acting very well here. Almost kind of like a hedge play, really. And I think that's kind of what the market is looking at right now. XLV down, speaking of hedges and defensives. XLP is up, though, and is XLU. Rates are essentially flat, though, so nothing really too crazy going on there in bond land. But we'll see what we get here. Let's see if the spiders can, maybe they get a little pop here into the close. We'll see if that the 570 comes back. It's still sitting there, and we got 13 minutes left, so maybe they get a little push right there into the end. It won't really change my analysis, though. It's not really of much consequence. Qs, again, obviously weak here. They're much closer to the gap. But I'm kind of doing my work on the spiders right now. There is still, again, and it is back below that trend line. Look at how well this respects too. I mean, look at the triple Qs intraday. I mean, tell me the trend lines don't work here. This is an intraday chart, and that's like right there, right on the money. But the NQ, again, another reason here why we could be looking for the bounce not to be done is that trend line right there, and that's the bull market trend line. I would think the market wants to back test that before anything else happens. Shorts are really excited right now, so we'll see. Was this a head fake? We'll find out. But good move here. Sellers in control. Well, if they can break that trend line on the ES, then they'll definitely be in control. IWM here only down 1.1, so it's down less than SPY and QQQ. The Dow has been holding up again. Makes sense in a defensive environment. So that's been holding up a little bit better here. Yeah, we're getting a little pop here. We'll see if we get to 570. So that would be nice for a little retrace there. SMH we talked about does not look good. Got to get saved by the end of the week. IGV we talked about a lot better. It's still down today though. And then transport's actually holding up well. We had durable goods data this morning. That beat by a mile. So, maybe it's not all dead here. Again, this definitely was that ODTE smackdown type tape. Transports here. I really like that liquidity grab. I don't love the gap, but I love the liquidity grab before it, though. So we'll see. 2-year flat to positive, or excuse me, flat to negative. So rates up just a little bit today. Actually, and on the long end, they're up quite a bit. So if we look at the 10-year, if I can type it in right, 10-year, yeah, getting a nice bounce, and I'm still looking for that to go higher with my TMV here. And that's still nicely in the money. 30-year, again, I'm still looking for 4.8, 4.85. Not necessarily in a straight line. Anyway, XHB, that was strong early, but came back in. Just an inside day, though. So it's still inside of this green. That's the positive here. The negative is it's been trying to get going for a while and has not been able to. You could argue we got kind of a wonky 4-hour like inverse head and shoulder type look here. It's not the best, but yeah, we'll see. Looks like IWM getting a little pop here. Are we starting it? I'm gonna laugh if we go to 570 by the end of the day. Be funny. VNQ hanging in there at 40 cents. It did lose that inside bar yesterday though, so not good. But we'll see what it does on the weekly. It's still got a chance to hold up. XLF here down 14 cents. Again, JPM, look, it was like 50 cents away. I was telling you, we had 255 pegged. Look at that. It's 254.67. That would have been a nice fade today, but it's still holding up though, only down 48 cents on the day. It's not like it's broken. Same thing with XLF, down 16 cents. But, you know, you did go into a big level here, right? Failure, you know, of this kind of like flag type action. So usually that's going to require some work to get through. ARE, again, same kind of look, like back testing this area and just backing off. There's the KVE. And then broker dealers here, there's your 860 we talked about yesterday, it's backing off of that. But again, not terrible, not terribly yet. There's plenty of space here. Oil finally got to set. I've been talking about this for like 4 weeks. What is it, 3 weeks? Like 3.5. We finally got to $70, so I did trim my position finally today, my UCO, and you know, just leaving like a runner on that now essentially. So, but I think this can go to 72. CTAs are still really short too, so we'll see here. You got a little red bar to, you know, there's a little resistance there at 70.50, but it took it long enough to get to $70. But yeah, good price action. Dips are still being bought here, and I think it can get higher. You mentioned XLE passively with Exxon. Right back into that 94.50 area. These levels are working out really well. It's a tight base here. I know there's a lot of crappy old lines on there, but this monthly chart is coiled. Let me show you Exxon. It's a personal plug here, but this is coiled here. That is ready for all-time highs. Full disclosure, I'm long as hell on Exxon. I have a full position in this, so just so you know. But yeah, if that breaks out, that's going to like 150, maybe even higher than that. Chevron, you know, new 52-week highs. So good job to Chevron. Nice little breakout of that base. Let's see, go to Conoco. Conoco's firmed up a lot. Look at the monthly. A big slice of that weekly 50 MA. Sorry, monthly 50 MA, weekly 200, and yeah, it's popped up nicely. XOP, again, still got a lot of resistance up here, and OIH, again, just watching that weekly close. That can close above 270 on the weekly. I think that's in pretty good shape. We had uranium stocks backing off a little bit here. So I still like the level. Might take some time to get going. But, I mean, they already kind of got their bounce, so don't have to keep going. But I think URNM is still, this weekly level here should hold for a while, I would think. It took a long time to break out of this base, so there should be buyers there. Gas, a flat to positive, nothing going on there. Holding the 50 MA, we'll just leave that alone for now. Dollar had a good pop, so it's starting to inch back towards 105, and so the euro coming down, and you know, the yen coming down, and go figure, the market's wanting to be down today. So the day we finally get the euro to be down there, look at that, we're going to 570. So that's where they're sitting. So nice pop. The almighty options market is telling us what to do. So, but yeah, U.S. dollar yen got a nice bid, and you know, it held the back test. That's the positive for bulls here. So that's why I think that we're not quite done here on this bounce. But we could see some lower prices tomorrow, and then maybe a dip by. We'll see. Where was I? Dollar index, yeah, 105. You can get through that. You can go to 106. Gold, nothing changed. Nothing has changed here. This is basing out, I think, for its final push. Same thing with silver, although I think silver will catch up a lot on that final leg. Platinum and palladium, I don't really care too much about. I think palladium's a little bit better, though. Then copper here, just, I mean, like, what can you say? Like, that's a new, is that a new all-time high? I think it is. Yeah. This is the unadjusted weekly. That's a new all-time high. Adjusted, I think it's got to be close, right? Pretty much. 5.38, what did we get to? 5.374. So almost got there. Got a double, nice, I mean, textbook double top, though. So a lot of supply coming in. Look at this. Yeah, somebody blew up. Some short seller blew up right there. That's, yeah, that's a blow up. Look at what time it was, too. So it was probably like some futures margin rolling or something. Not margin rolling, but maintenance, you know, maybe in Europe. Somebody blew up there. I didn't even see that till today. I knew it was up, but I wasn't even paying attention to the. It's up every day, so I'm not even really thinking about it. Yeah, it looks like somebody got wrecked on that. Maybe that was a high. Let's see. Bitcoin we got down today too, just like everything else. That's holding up on the hourly though. Is there the hourly? Is a 4 hour? Go to the daily. Yeah, just down 86. So this is down less than the NASDAQ. So not terrible here. We'll see. And it got a little mini inside bar here, and it's trying to consolidate above that reversal. So Bitcoin not in terrible shape. If this can push out of this range back to 92, I think it's a positive for the market. It's been a leading indicator lately, so we'll see here. Yep, we went right up to 570, a little back off there. Yeah, we'll probably close like right below. That's 355 here. And then I think Trump's going to be on, and he's going to, I don't know. He's going to say, he's going to walk it back just to create chaos or something. I don't know what he's going to do, but we'll see. I think 5,700 is going to, I mean, it'll definitely hold for today. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't really think we're going to go too much lower, but, you know, that gap is sitting right there. Everybody's looking at it too. So maybe it gets pierced by a little bit. We got some other levels that we're looking at too, but yeah, good decline here for the markets. And I mean, VVIX definitely needed that bounce. I'm not surprised, but yeah, VIX only up 7% now off the highs. It's kind of off the highs here, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I still think we have a date with 58.25, one way or another, regardless of whether that results in new bear market, 0%, 90% crash or whatever. I still think that's got to get tested. So I'm kind of in that camp still. So anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here again. You guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.